This is the 20th year that we've had the rodeo, 20 years strong, and we've still enjoyed it this year as much as we've enjoyed it the first year, just because of people being able to come out with a family. It's the family. We have tried to build it as a family atmosphere and keep it like that for the 20 years.
Hey, when you come out here, you see that. You don't see a lot of singles and even couples. It's families, it's kids, it's parents, and you want to make it, I'm sure, for everybody, right?
Oh, we do. We want to make it great for everybody that wants to come out, enjoy the sport of rodeo. We did a lot of things, we did a lot of rodeos traveling across different parts before we did this, and we've tried to bring as much of that feel from the Midwest west back here to the east, and we've tried to hold that strong for 20 years.
How has it grown over the years? Has it gotten bigger than your even wildest dreams, I guess?
Yes, it's gotten bigger. The reason that it got bigger is because of the community. The community just likes to see, something different, and this is the difference in entertainment out here. So I believe that's why it's gotten bigger. The support that we get from the community.
What are you doing to celebrate 20 years? Is there anything special tonight, tomorrow, and wrapping up things on Sunday?
No, we're just kind of holding it true to par. We're going to put on the different cowboys and cowgirls are coming in each night. Different cowboys and cowgirls, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we'll finish off with the fireworks on Sunday. But we're running it same as par. It's don't mess with a good thing while it's still here. So
yeah, I was going to ask you. You don't want to mess with a successful formula.
Yes.
What was it like? What was it like recently, and how has it changed from what it was like at the beginning here?
It takes a lot more organization on the 4T end of it, just because of the vendors. Vendors that we have. We have the new tent set up at the end of the concession this year. Our vendors would have fit under that 20 by 26 tent the first year.
Yeah.
Well, now we've built a pavilion. They all bring in their trailers, and it's just the compound where everything's set up, and the Dodge vehicles for the Ram Rodeo end of it is just phenomenal. And it's taken extra planning from that end of it.
What was it like those early years? Was 93 the first year here then?
Yes.
Okay. What was that first year like? The first couple of years, it had to, I don't know if lean's the right word, but it had to be a lot different than what it is now.
It was a lot different. Nobody has really seen. They've had rodeos in this area back 20 years ago, but they were the rodeos traveling up and down the road with the fair. The fairs and stuff would have it as a sideshow.
Okay.
We were one of the first that put on a rodeo in this area that we highlighted rodeo.
Yeah.
We wanted the rodeo is the main attraction.
And what were those early years like? Were there small crowds? What was the process in terms of getting people interested in it? Was it an instant thing, or was it a word of mouth thing? Did it grow year to year?
It grew year to year. It definitely grew year to year. The first year, what we've chalked up our first few years to was, and we hope this has come true, and we've talked to people in the community that when they come out, 20 years ago when we first started this, there was a lot of people leaving town for the 4th of July weekend and going to visit family. We have heard that some of that has changed now. Now what they do, they come to West Virginia,
plan their weekend around the rodeo.
And plan their weekend around the rodeo. So we've been a positive feed in that part of it, as far as bringing other people into the community for the West Virginia tourism end of it.
You mentioned the Midwest. Are you from around here? Where are you from?
I'm actually originally from Fairmont.
Okay.
And moved to Bridgeport in 1990.
Where do you live right now?
I live actually right here on the area.
Okay. And you mentioned the Midwest and the West. Did you, before you even started this venture, did you go all over the country and see what other places were doing and got some ideas that way? How did this whole idea come to fruition 20 years ago?
20 years ago, what we started, I got interested in, I've always been in horses my whole life.
Yeah.
When I was younger, it was kind of brought down generation there. My dad was always interested in horses when he was younger. I always had them when I was growing up, and then got out of them with playing sports and living in the country and a driver's license. I got out of that part. It was easier to turn on a car and drive down a road than it was to saddle up a horse. I got out of them for a few years, got out of high school, started messing with the horses a little bit again, and and that was, probably 5 years after I was out of school is when we started coming up with this horse idea to travel up and down the road. And we traveled to probably well over 100 rodeos, just getting ideas and competing.
Yeah,
we were competing in team roping sport, and we did that up and down the East Coast.
While you were there, you were taking ideas from here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. We took the ideas for the parking, how to set up different things. That was one of our biggest. We were kind of on that mission to get the ideas.
And looking at it, and what about your name here? You 4T. That has a significance family-wise. Is there a bunch of your brothers? Is that where the name came from?
Actually, it was started out as 4 Tuckers.
Okay.
My dad, myself, my uncle, and my cousin.
Okay. And and are you kind of the last Tucker standing here?
My dad and I are still involved with it.
Okay.
And my uncle and my cousin has passed, Kevin.
That was Kevin, okay.
Yep. And he enjoyed the rodeo. Very good team roper himself. So that was originally how we started the 4T.
And I've been here a couple of years. Kevin's always mentioned his spirit kind of carries on in what you do here and everything, right? It's one of those things where I guess if people have been involved in this in a while, they remember him and know the role that he played in getting this thing started.
Oh yes, yeah. We've put a monument at the front.
Can't miss that.
Front entrance, yes. We put that up. It was up last year actually for the first rodeo that he missed. But yeah, his involvement, would always be here.
Was it cancer?
Cancer.
Okay. And what are you guys looking forward for this? What do you mentioned not messing with a good formula? Are you looking to expand? Are you looking to do anything differently going forward, or is it a case where you have a good thing and you don't really want to mess with a bunch?
We've thought about it. We can't add much more vendors. We really try to keep it, from our vendor side of it. We don't want duplicates. We only want one of a kinds. We don't want the competition's good, but our vendors that we do let in are one and onlys. So that we're kind of trying to keep that. We've talked of different ways to make it a better. We've kicked ideas around, just haven't come up with a new formula yet.
And what about the kind of talent you get here? You get some of the top riders in the country here.
We do. We're fortunate. One of the major reasons that we did decide the 4th of July weekend, it starts the Cowboy Christmas, and it starts at the July 4th. July 1st starts Cowboy Christmas.
This is kind of the off season now.
This is on season now. It is now hitting. What they do, they come. A lot of the cowboys and cowgirls travel to the east and start this weekend, and they start zigzagging all the way back across the country, back home.
So West Virginia's kind of on the way.
It's kind of on the way. It's on the way of that zigzag. Yes.
So it was kind of a natural thing when it made sense logistically and the time of the year.
And the time of the year, that was one of our concerns. What time of year do you have the rodeo to have the cowboys come out this way? And this kind of fit into our.
And this was probably the best way to get the best people and the most people here.
Correct. Yes.